Hi Speedway, welcome back to another edition of This is Speedway. August edition, I should say. So first off, I want to say in the next segment, we're going to have 3 different guests from 3 different organizations. It's going to be Breathe Easy Speedway, Relay for Life, and Run 317. So I look forward to sitting down with the guests, interviewing them, and that way Speedway can find out what these groups are and how they're impacting the local community. Also want to wrap up, we are talking about the summer concert series that just ended. I want to thank everyone, specifically my parks director, as well as the Meadowwood Park and residents right around there. And then we also really want to thank the sponsors. So we weren't sure how this was going to happen due to COVID, but luckily the sponsors came through, the residents complied with all the social distancing rules, and it turned out to be a great year for the 9th year now. So we want to thank specifically the Lions Club of Speedway for being the title sponsor, but also Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Wessler Engineering, Alliance Insurance Group, Donegal Insurance Group, and Fun Days Ice Cream. Without the support of the sponsors, we couldn't have done this, and without the support of the residents, this wouldn't have happened. So thank you to both of those groups. Also, I don't know if you recall, but the last episode we had the Exchange Club of Speedway, and they are hosting their 35th annual Golf for Kids event on August 12th. You guys really came through for them. They actually sold out the tickets earlier than they thought they would, and we wish all the golfers the best of luck. Thank you for supporting a great cause, and hopefully the event goes off perfectly. Coming up, we've got the Barks and Bubbles Car and Dog Wash. That was a mouthful in and of itself. This is for the Speedway Animal Rescue, and they're looking for community support. It's going to be on August 15th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Speedway Animal Rescue, again, they're hosting a car and or dog wash. So it could be one or the other, or both, I suppose. This is going to be at St. Andrew's Church at 6118, again, 6118 Crawfordsville Road. The price is a $20 donation for a single car wash or dog wash, $30 for both a car wash and a dog wash, or $10 if you want to do a self-dog wash, I guess. Is that a thing? Basically, you wash your own dog, but you support a great cause. It's going to be cash, PayPal, Venmo, or credit card. All of the proceeds are going specifically to the Speedway Animal Rescue. If you've got any more questions about that organization, that group, please look at their Facebook page. It is titled Speedway Animal Rescue, and it's right on Facebook, so you'll be able to get all the detailed information that you might have questions about, but also you can find out more about that organization. I would also like to remind the residents of the Farmers Market. It continues every Thursday this month on the corner of 11th and Main Street. The market is open each week from 4 to 7:30 p.m. Get there early to guarantee dibs on all the fresh food and produce and everything else that's being sold. The crowds have emptied out the supply rather quickly in the past few weeks, so getting there early is just going to assure that you get what you want when you want it. Also, I'd like to close up the events for this month, talking about the library. So the library is open once again. I reminded the community of that last month, but I just wanted to repeat that. Social distancing and special COVID precautions are in place. You can still do the curbside pickup if you prefer that, and that is available by calling 317-243-8959. Again, 243-8959. Call ahead and let them know, and they'll deliver your books out to the curb. Also, though, a new program on the Speedway Library's Facebook page that you should check out. It's read-along videos, new book reviews, and other great videos. But the thing that I am most kind of excited about, specifically because I've got a young child, is they're having a new activity for families called Take and Make Crafts. So literally it is what it sounds like. It's a kit for a craft for a family night. You go, show up, you pick it up. It's free while supplies last at the circulation desk. You have everything that you need to make that craft inside that packet. You just pick it up, take it home, and then you and your kids can have a great time doing that. Call ahead if you want to see what crafts they have that week, because I'm under the impression that they are going to change that from week to week. So those are the main events coming up for the month of August, happenings around town. But now I'd like to turn and get to the guests that we've got lined up. So without further ado, we're going to start off with Breathe Easy Speedway.
If you're in business, you know rising healthcare costs are eating away at your bottom line.
But you may not know that tobacco use in the workplace is costing businesses $193 billion annually.
$193 billion.
Tobacco is the leading cause of preventable disease and death worldwide.
Killing an estimated 443,000 Americans each year.
443,000 each year.
The easiest way to reduce healthcare costs
is to reduce tobacco use.
Reduce tobacco, reduce
The average cost of each employee who smokes is about $3,300 a year.
compared with $176 for non-smokers.
Breathe Easy Speedway is a coalition of community members and health professionals committed to reducing tobacco use in the workplace.
To help eliminate the dangers of tobacco smoke in all public places, please visit Breathe Easy Speedway on Facebook.
Start saving money.
And lives.
Welcome back to This is Speedway. We have the first of our three guests on today. We have Berenice Tenorio with Breathe Easy Speedway and Jacob Einstein with Relay for Life. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to the show and thanks for coming on.
Of course, thank you for having us.
So I'll start with Breathe Easy Speedway. Just real simply, what is Breathe Easy Speedway?
Yeah, so Breathe Easy Speedway is a coalition or a group of various different members, healthcare professionals, public health care advocates, as well as Speedway community members who kind of focus on health equity and specifically on the tobacco issue. So educating about tobacco and advocating for pretty much just health for everyone.
Okay, now you mentioned the smoking and that is kind of your main priority.
Yes.
Can you explain a little bit more on that?
Yeah, of course. So tobacco use is the number one cause for preventable death in the United States, and specifically here in the state of Indiana, we know that the use of tobacco affects various different health conditions and can increase your risk for other health conditions and infections. And during this pandemic and COVID, smoking can definitely increase symptoms like that COVID presents itself. And so we really just focus on that because of the big issue that it is, and because it kind of affects almost everyone here in the state of Indiana. Everyone kind of knows a smoker or knows someone who has quit smoking. And so that's kind of our focus just because of the big issue that it is. I mean, 11,000 deaths, I believe, here in the state of Indiana yearly due to tobacco use. Between youth, we're seeing, a skyrocketing numbers of vaping and electronic cigarette use. So we just try to educate the community as much as we can on these topics.
Perfect. Now, in terms of the community and educating them, how or in what ways does Breathe Easy interact and engage with Speedway residents?
Yeah, so we have monthly coalition meetings here in Speedway. We do presentations. Of course, in the past, these presentations were live. We did a presentation for the chamber, I believe, in the past, and we've really done our best to connect with various different organizations here in Speedway, like Relay for Life, the schools. We try to connect with teachers and educate them, parents. We have a few parents on the coalition that kind of talk to us and let us know of any events that we can attend and potentially get information out. So pretty much in any way, shape, or form, we really love being in the community. We really love doing presentations. And so we're really unfortunate, unable to participate this year in some of the in-person events that have been canceled or postponed, but we were really excited to get out there this summer, and we're really looking forward to the fall and seeing if the schools are able to maybe have us or any sort of business that may be interested in learning more about us.
Excellent. Well then, to kind of summarize and wrap it up, how can residents of Speedway get involved with you guys?
Oh, super easy. We have pretty much social media everywhere. We have a Breathe Easy Facebook page, an Instagram page. They can shoot us a message there. I believe our email is breatheeasyspeedway@gmail.com if they want to email us. Pretty much our social medias are open and they can always leave us a comment or send us a DM, and we would love to connect with them.
Excellent. Sounds good. Well, I hope they take you up on that. I want to transition over then to Relay for Life as kind of a good segue. Very simply, again, just starting off, what is Relay for Life?
Yeah, so Relay for Life is an event sponsored by the American Cancer Society nationwide. It takes place annually, and basically what happens is community organizations, schools, and teams will all get together once a year and gather, and the idea is that it's a relay race. It's a 24-hour event where one member from each team represents that team and walks the track, and you switch out and you have one person from each team walking for that period of 24 hours, and you spend the year leading up to that event fundraising, and then the actual 24-hour event also continuing to fundraise to raise money to help fight cancer.
Excellent. How many years has Relay for Life been taking place here in Speedway?
Speedway's been relaying for 11 years now.
Well, that's pretty good. I didn't realize that. Obviously, since it seems to be a widely popular event, but some might not be aware of the mission and focus of your cause, can you tell us, generally speaking, what that main mission is?
Yeah, so the money that we raise in Relay for Life that goes to the American Cancer Society is used for a number of things for helping aid cancer patients. So it goes towards transportation, for hospital visits for families that can't afford it. It goes for providing medication and life-saving treatments to patients that are in need. It goes towards paying existing medical bills for past patients and survivors and stuff like that. And it goes towards hosting events and outreach programs to involve more people, to bring more money in, and to educate more people.
That sounds awesome. Obviously, COVID-19 has been impacting a lot of events. I assume it has impacted your event as well. Is that the case, and how has it affected it?
Yes, it has definitely affected it. So normally the event takes place in July. This year's Relay for Life in Speedway is going to be on Saturday, September 19th from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So as opposed to the normal 24-hour event, we're doing a 12-hour block, that full day instead.
And how can people register for that?
So if you can visit www.relayforlife.org and search for Speedway's Relay for Life. And you have two options from that point. You can either pick a team and sign up for that team on your own. You can create your own team and represent your school, your organization, or your company. Or if you're a survivor, we would love to have all of our survivors go in and register online. Even if you're not planning to be at the event in person, we still like to honor all of the survivors.
Going on that, how are you approaching the bringing in of local survivors this year because of COVID?
Yeah, so we like to have our typical survivor dinner, where if you're a survivor and you're registered, you show up to the event, and every year you show up and we treat you to a lovely dinner, and then we have a lap on the track for the survivors. That's our survivor lap, and we dedicate that to them, and all the community members come out and we applaud and we congratulate everyone on their success in beating cancer.
What's your biggest need from the community right now?
Right now, I think the biggest thing that we need is two things. A, continued funding. The American Cancer Society is expecting roughly $20 million less in funding this year. So it's just as an important time right now as it always has been to continue to support the cause if you're able to. And if you're not, to educate yourself and others about what's going on. Visit relayforlife.org through the American Cancer Society and read up on what's going on, what's changing, and what can you do. Share articles, share other people's fundraising things. The more word that we can get out and the more ears and eyes that we can reach, the quicker we can beat this thing.
So final question then, how can community members, if they do want to get involved, help out, how can they reach out, contact you, or just a general webpage? Where should they go?
Of course, like I said, go to relayforlife.org and you can use your zip code or just search for your city itself. And on that page through the American Cancer Society, you'll get all the representatives and the leaders for your Relay for Life event, as well as their contact information, and you can reach out to them and they will be more than happy to help you get started.
Excellent. Well, thank you both for coming on. I appreciate your time.
Of course,
Thank you for having us.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we have Sheri Schuler from Run 317. Welcome, Sheri. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I like to start off all the questions just very generally. So for folks that might not know, what is Run 317?
So Run 317 was started 7 years ago in Fountain Square as a race. It was the idea and the concept was to have a fun event as well as an awesome post-race party. So since that time, we've grown to 5 races, and each race has had a community involvement component where we've connected with a charity, a local area charity partner, and have just given back to them and brought a race exploring the various communities around Indianapolis.
So clearly you've been around for a few years now, but this event is new for Speedway.
Yes.
Can you tell us how Run 317 got started?
So the Run 317 Speedway event, we've been talking to a lot of our participants over the years about different areas around our town that they would like to explore. And time again, they've said Speedway, let's go run the streets of Speedway. So we couldn't think of a better year than this year to add it to our list.
Excellent. When is it going to be? When is it going to happen here in Speedway?
So the event is currently scheduled for September 17th, and our races all start at 7 o'clock, and they're all on a Thursday night. So it's kind of like the launch to your weekend.
Is this going to be in person or digital because of obviously all the COVID concerns?
Correct. Right now we are planning an in-person event, so we're excited to be on the streets and taking all the necessary precautions to make sure that everybody has an amazing time.
And how can people sign up to participate?
So to register, you can go out to www.run317.com, and registration is open all the way up to race night.
Now you had mentioned something about volunteers, so there's a volunteer component. How can residents sign up to be a volunteer? Is it the same process? And then could you tell us a little bit about what those volunteers do?
Absolutely. So volunteers, we welcome from ages 18 years of age and up. You can do everything from being a course marshal, which means directing people along the course, to helping out with packet pickup, to the post-race party and making sure that everybody gets their bottle of water or their little swag bag at the end that will have their medal, their water and chips inside of it. So just a lot of various ways that people can register to volunteer through the website as well.
Now, volunteers obviously help the event itself out, but how can being a volunteer help the community out?
So our volunteers, right now we have teamed up with the Lions Club here in Speedway, and just a fabulous organization, and working with them and getting the volunteers to just, volunteers come from all over the community in Indianapolis. So them coming in, seeing the area, and then benefiting the Lions Club, it's just a win-win.
Now, real quick, you mentioned earlier that a lot of your members had said, well, we should do it in Speedway. We haven't done it in Speedway yet, which I imagine means that you've come into Speedway to chart your course and the route and all that. So personal question, I assume you have eaten on Main Street somewhere?
Yes.
All right, what's your favorite restaurant there?
The Tequila and Tacos.
That's a good spot. That's a good spot. Well, that's all the questions I had for you. Thanks for coming out. I noticed you had some medals here, so would you just briefly like to show us what those are?
Oh,
and
absolutely.
What they mean?
So we're really stoked about our Speedway medal. Of course, throwing in that checkered flag for the area. And our medals this year actually all combined together to create a puzzle piece. And this year's series has 5. So Speedway was originally going to be launching this off in May, but due to circumstances, we had to move the date. So each medal goes together to make a complete bar then.
Excellent.
So it's a lot of fun.
Any final thoughts or comments for the audience?
Well, we're excited to be here, and we look forward to having you join us on the street.
Sheri, thanks for coming out. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for the guests that just came on board. They had some interesting information for us, so I really do appreciate that. As a reminder, if you are part of an organization or you run an organization that you would like to see highlighted on This is Speedway, please contact my communications director, Kelly Turner, at kturner@speedwayin.gov, and she can help get that set up. Also, though, I would like to remind the residents that if they have any questions that they would specifically like me to answer on this show, also please send us the question that you might have. You can send it to Kelly. You can also put it on our Facebook page, social media, anything like that. Just give us the questions and I would be happy to answer them. Other than that, that is all we have for this month's This is Speedway. I hope everyone is doing well. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you need anything from me, please feel free to reach out. You can contact me at cmay@speedwayin.gov. Thanks, and we'll see you next month.